Welcome to the Real with Joseph Latman. I am Joseph Latman. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having a good weekend, and yeah, happy weekend. Hope you guys are having a fun time out there and staying safe and healthy and everything, and all that good stuff. But yeah, welcome back again for another show. Today's show will be. I know last time I said I wanted to make it quicker. I still rambled on for like an hour, but I am going to really try to make this one today a little shorter. Uh, but we'll see where it goes because uh, today's episode is really personal because, as you can see at the bottom, it says time for change, but it also says 1 year later. So a lot of you are probably wondering, what does it mean by 1 year later? Well, 1 year ago today, around this Saturday, on this weekend, at this time of the month, was the turning point for me. It really, looking back, it changed my life probably forever. And so, 1 year ago today, I had one of the worst panic attacks I ever had. I would say probably, and I had a lot of them in the last 8 years. That one, that night a year ago, was probably the second or third, maybe number one. There's only one other one that I can remember. It was the first time I went to therapy when I was 15. I was riding the car on the way there, and it was bad. But this one a year ago was pretty close to that, and it was so bad. I mean, I just thought I felt like I was gonna lose control, like of my body, my mind. And sometimes when you get in those moments, man, they get really bad. You feel like you're gonna die. Like you really feel like the only way out is just like that way. And I don't mean to open this up real somber today, but I'm trying to tell a story. And so, because you'll see kind of where I'm going with this later on. But again, it's also a recap from a year ago. And it's just funny to look back where I was on this night a year ago to where I am a year later. It's pretty incredible. It's a complete 180, and what a difference a year makes. And so, but again, that night, to give a little backstory, what led up to that. Well, really, let's go back to beginning of the summer, I guess you could say. And so, I'm trying to think. No, let me go back to when I was 15. Okay, so I got it in my head now. When I was 15 years old, that's when my anxiety really started to take off. A lot of you guys watch the show, you know that. I was in school. I had to leave my school. And then I got to the point where I just isolated for years, went downhill. Then I moved to a new home. And that really affected me. I didn't leave my house for almost a year and a half, somewhere right in that span there. Pretty much. I mean, I'd only go a block away, if even that, 2 blocks, not a whole lot. Very agoraphobic. And so I started to do better. When I was about 2019, I started to get out more, started to push more. And I've talked about this before. You know, there was times where I was on my bike. I could only ride my bike at this time. I didn't like getting in the car. I didn't like doing any of that stuff. And so it's just too uncomfortable. And so I think I like the reason why I rode the bike is because the bike gave me, I feel like I had a sense of control, and I can go at my own speed. I'm not out in traffic. I don't have to wait in traffic. I can just go on the sidewalk. So the bike really changed my life. That's why I always ride a bike. I ride my bike still now for exercise and just get out and stuff. But at that time, it really helped me to really get out, and so it really was helping me was that bike. And so I've said this before back in my first episode. There was times where I would ride my bike in the middle of winter. There was one time at midnight I went out and rode my bike in 2 feet of snow on the sidewalks and negative 20-degree temperatures. And so that's what anxiety did to me. And yeah, it's crazy to think back at all that and just think back that led all the way up to last year. And so, like I said, I'm 19. In 2019, I'm 19, going on 20. I'm starting to do better. And then when COVID happened, you know, my anxiety, not because of COVID per se, just everything locked down. And I kind of would just start to decline a little bit. And then I started to come back and do a little better. But it was just a constant cycle of just up and down, up and down. And that led all the way up until last year, 2021, where physically I was doing great. Like I was got in the best shape of my life. But mentally I was still, I thought I was okay, but I wasn't. I was tricking myself. And so that led all the way up till the summer. And when it's last year during the summertime, I've said this before, it was just a rough summer. I just had a lot of things. I was alone a lot. I had too much time to think for myself, but I also just felt very scattered. I wanted so many things so bad in my life, but I didn't feel like they were obtainable at that time. I feel like I didn't know what to do, and I was very afraid still. I was just trying to get by. And that's what it was. I was just trying to get by. I was just coping and managing. And it just led out throughout the summer. I had incidents and things happen throughout the summer last year that really it was like just one thing after another. It was taking a hit at my confidence more and more. And my anxiety started to increase more and more. And it was going back to where it was when it first started, which was like level 9, 10. And so long story short, last year around this time in August was a rough month for me last year. Very up and down, health anxiety through the roof. Just trying to get by every day, just trying to really trying to find myself. I had a lot of emotion in me, a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, a lot of I just wasn't really content where I was. There was still so many things I wanted. I didn't know how to express. I was afraid to express things still. And I was also I didn't like where I was heading. I feel like I was, to be honest with you guys, not like physically dying, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, I feel like I was dying a slow death all summer. And so that all led to a boiling point, which was 1 year ago from tonight. This Saturday night, this weekend, around this time, like I said. It was getting so out of hand that I remember that night in particular, I was supposed to go to my family's house for a gathering. So I was at home by myself. I just got done doing my workout. I take a shower. As I'm in the shower, I started getting really bad anxiety feelings, bad symptoms, bad everything. And it made me go to, at this, like I said, at this point, I'm really just trying to get by every day, almost like a survival mode. And so I remember I went to my phone. I got on the worst thing you can do, Dr. Google, and I just started Googling. And guys, I let my imagination take over, and it led me to the point where I literally thought I was about to have an ailment happen to me that night. That's how bad my health anxiety was. But I think it wasn't just that. That's what really sparked it that night. But this was all a buildup. Again, like I said, this was years of stuff that I stored inside of me, that things I was holding in for so long that I never let out, that I never expressed, that I never, this is just 8 years of pain, 8 years of sorrow, 8 years of sad, all the things I wanted, 8 years of just health anxiety and panic. And so with all that being said, it led to, this was like the boiling point this night. And it was so bad. I remember I was supposed to leave and go over there, and I couldn't leave my house. I didn't want to leave the home. That's how bad my panic attack got. I started it just started ramping up, hyperventilating. Then before you know it, I remember I called my dad, and I was like, "Hey, Dad, I need you to come home. I need somebody here with me." Like, I didn't want to be alone. And my dad hurried home. Luckily, it was only a couple minutes away. And so, or he was only a couple minutes away, so he got right home. And I remember when he got home, as soon as he walked in the door, I just started losing control. Like, I just, not like physically, but just, like I said, all the 8 years came out. And, that whole summer came out right there. It was pretty scary. I just broke down crying. I just broke down shaking. There was even some points where the symptoms got so bad, I was sitting there just trembling and kind of yelling a little bit, just like to stop. And it got to the point where my dad and I just sat there on the couch, and my dad just sat there and he just held my hand. He's like, "Hey, it's gonna be all right, man. It's okay, bud. Just be all right. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right." I was texting, my mom was on the phone, and it was a rough night, and it was a scary moment. But in that moment, that moment was a defining moment for me, because like most panic attacks, it lasted 20 minutes. They usually last for 15 to 20 minutes. max. And for most people, mine lasted the full max 20 minutes, about 20, maybe almost 30, because I was still, even when the symptoms went down, I was still in fear. Like, what? Okay, it just, your mind was just, my irrational fears were just really taking over. And so, it was a rough night. And I remember when it was over, though, a couple hours later, I was sitting there after I was able to eat something and calm down. I was looking back on it, and I knew exactly what caused it that night. But I also knew, I told myself, and my parents and I sat together that night, and we said, you know what we're doing is not working. What I'm doing is not working, and we need to make change. And at that point, I was thinking about doing the Anxiety Guys program, which I've talked about. I've done a video for him on his page, so it's linked below. In my testimony about that program, how it's helped my life in just a year. And so, before this, around this time a year ago, like I said, I hadn't done that program. I was putting it off. I knew I needed to do something to take the next steps, but I was just trying to get by. I was trying to manage everything on my own. And I had a very too independent of a mind. I was doing everything too independently. I was trying to do everything on my own. And also in that term, I wasn't in tune with God as much with God as I should have been. I was kind of putting him to the sideline. And I think God allowed me to kind of like go through that. It was a wake up call for me. Like, hey, remember, you need me, but also it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to take these next steps. It's time to go out of your comfort zone and do what you need to do to help yourself. And so, and around this time too, I had a lot of ideas and goals I wanted to do, and visions about this podcast. I had visions about reconnecting with my friends again, and just living my life. And it's funny, a year later now, I'm doing a lot of those things, and it's awesome. But to look back at that night, and so to see where I was that night, mentally and just everything. But that night was a turning point for me a year ago tonight. And I even have a photo, which I'm going to share. I took this photo. Why I took this photo, I have no idea, but maybe it was for this today. It's kind of funny how things work, but this was me. When I was having the middle of the panic attack, and I said I sat down with my dad, I was sitting on the couch in my living room. And this is the photo of me. I keep on sharing this, but why not? This is the real. This is me right after the panic attack. And as you can see, actually, I remember I took this photo. I was actually just barely coming out of it. And you can see blood in my eyes. My eyes are red. My face is kind of like, I just looked down. Not as bad as I thought I would look when I went back and found this photo, but I looked like a wreck though. I mean, like I said, my eyes are all messed up, under my eyes, from rubbing my eyes, just, oh man. But yeah, that's post-panic was like for me that night. And so, it's funny looking at that photo. It's like, gosh. But, that moment right there was, like I said, it was a defining point for me. And here I am a year later, much more my true self, much more happy in my life, much more content in my life, much more at peace. And just, but I mean, I had to make the choice for myself. And that's why it says time for change. And that's my question to you guys today. I'm sharing this story. I'm sharing this from a year ago, sharing this photo of me. This is what I looked like a year ago. That picture right there sums it all up. Struggling. When I look at that photo, and I'm sorry, I just can't stop looking at it because it's just crazy to look at that. It's a lot of emotion there, but I know you guys can understand. But when I look at that photo, I see somebody that's 8 years of baggage. That's, like I said, 8 years of holding things in. That's 8 years. That's dissatisfaction where I was in my life. And was really just, I had enough. Simply had enough. And so, but again, I had to make the choice. And that right there, that night, made me really look in the mirror with myself. Especially, I remember the next day it rained. And I went out in the rain and it was like a light rain. And I remember it rained because I went out and rode my bike the next day just to kind of clear my mind. And I went for a really good ride that day too. So that's why I like to go out and ride. Sometimes I get clarity in my mind, just peaceful, be outside. And I remember, though, I told myself that day, the next day, I looked back and I said, okay. And I was still a little, it took me some time. When that panic attack happened, it took me about, and again, this is just for me. It doesn't mean it'll happen for you, but it's just for me, because everybody's timetable for healing is different. How well you progress and how fast it's different. Um, but for me, that took me about, if I think back, about a month, about a month and some change to really like desensitize from that to that panic attack and the whole summer. But when you have a panic attack that bad, you're so afraid of having another one again because how scary it was, and you're afraid of being alone and having one as well because you're afraid where's your comfort. And so, yeah, it took me about a month and some change to really get over that. And then as time went on, I started following the program more and more. I readjusted some things in my own life, just changed a lot of habits, changed a lot of, I changed everything. And I went back to, I reset though. I went back to who I was. I went back to my roots. I went back to being who I truly am, and going back to what is, what made Joseph Lamtman. Like I said, the foundation, my core, my beliefs, my true self. And that's what I went back to. And it took me about, throughout the winter, in this last year of a period, it took me all about, I'm trying to think, through the winter. That's what I did. I slowed everything down. I just took my time. I followed the program. That's what I did. I just took my time and I just slowed everything down. I just had a lot of time to sit back and reflect during those months about what had just happened and just kind of reflect throughout the years. And then, in November of last year, I've said this story a couple times. My neighbor, who was a good mentor of mine, Rick Briggs, passed away suddenly. And, that was also another moment for me to really look in the mirror and really decide what I really, truly want to do. Because, Rick was a mentor, but the biggest thing Rick taught me was chasing your dreams, chasing your goals, not being afraid to go after the things you want, and just being fearless and just taking a step out there no matter what happens. It's like Kobe Bryant said, I played that clip before in the show. It's not for anybody else, but for yourself. Be who you want to be. Use your gifts God gave you. And that's what Rick embodied. And so when Rick passed suddenly, it changed my life. That also changed my life because that inspired me. And that inspiration took some time, and it led all the way up until when I started this podcast, April 2nd of this year. And that week, I've said too, leading up to the week leading up to when I did my first show, was really like the breakthrough point for me. I had a lot of things happen in my own life that week that pushed me to that microphone on that Saturday when I did that first episode to finally tell you guys publicly, this is where I've been, and I'm not concealing this anymore. I'm going to tell it like it is. I don't have to hide anymore. I don't have to put pressure on myself to be an image for anybody. I don't have to, do any of these bullshit standards that our society tells us to live up to. I'm going to be who I want to be, and I'm happy and I'm content with myself. And that's what I want to share with you guys. That's why I've been doing this podcast and bringing people on that are like-minded in that. It's why it's called The Real. Doesn't mean we agree on everything. Doesn't mean you do everything my way, or I don't, vice versa. But it's just being open and honest and being having some authenticity. That's what's missing in our society right now. There's not enough authenticity. And so people are craving for it. And I know I was. And now there's people that inspired me to do this. And I hope to inspire somebody else to do what I'm doing. And so, again, that's me a year ago. Like I said, it's just crazy. I can't stop looking. When I look at that, it's just like, wow, I cannot believe where I am a year later. And a lot of my goals, a lot of my dreams, a lot of people I've missed in my life, I got it all back. And I'm still getting it more back too. I mean, there's new people, there's new things in my life as well. And I just can't believe what God has done for me in a year. I can't believe, I just can't believe it. It's just a complete 180. And The reason why I say time for change in the title is because I want to question this to you guys. You know, are you guys tired of, are you in that same place where I was? You feel like you're just getting by every day. You feel like you're just, each day is just like survival mode. Each day is just, you're trying to get by. Each day is just, you're not saying each day, but your life is just, you're content, you're okay, but you're not truly where you want to be. You're carrying around a lot of baggage you wish you could unload. You're carrying around a lot of things that you wish you didn't have to store on the inside of you. I hope that makes sense. And if I'm repeating myself, that's good because I'm trying to make a point. I mean, it's pretty, in general, what I'm saying is letting go of the trauma from your past, letting go of, if you had bad relationships, letting go of, just letting go of all the BS and just being who you truly want to be. I mean, there's really no much more simple way to say it, if you're someone where I was, is it time for change? Are you willing to take the step forward, take the leap of faith? Because for a while I wasn't, and I had to be pushed. God pushed me to this right here, and that was enough for me. Because the pain on that face right there was not worth carrying for the rest of my life. And so, and that's why are you guys, if there's someone out there where I was, are you willing to take the next step? And so, I have a quick video today that from the anxiety guy that I hope you guys really listen to. I'm not going to I may pause it one or two times. Actually, I'm not going to pause it at all. I'm going to play it straight through. Not going to say any. I'm not going to give any commentary till after. And I really hope you guys sit and listen to this, because in this video means a lot to me, because this video here, all his videos mean a lot to me. And if you're not subscribed to the Anxiety Guy, go subscribe. Shout out to Dennis. Love you, brother. But, this video right here, this is where I was a year ago. Are the anxiety symptoms getting to you? Are you living in fear? Are you feel like a drag every day? And so, I'm just going to play this video. And again, please pay attention to this video and listen to it, because if you're where I was, then this video right here this is a good first step for you to really understand what's going on. But like it says in the title, this will change everything. If you really sit and listen to what he's saying and really absorb these things and maybe even write it down. And so, I'm just going to stop talking and I'm going to get right to the video.
Warriors, my friends, my extended family, welcome to another important video. Yes, beyond anxiety, what to expect on the path to freedom is now available on Amazon. And I'm so excited that you're going to be reading this book. Pick it up on Amazon today. And my friends, when I make content, when I make these videos, when I make podcasts, when I do lives and such, I'm always listening. I'm listening to you. I'm listening to my own intuition. I'm always listening. And what I'm brought to is based on what people need in this very moment. And what I feel like you need right now isn't so much the words, hey, everything's going to be all right, because you've heard that multiple times before. If I give you something that is already expected, it's going to do nothing for your healing journey. So instead, when we discuss anxiety symptoms, as we're going to do today, I want to share with you a deeper understanding around your anxiety symptoms, because if we can tap into this sort of wisdom, we will feel enlightened. When we feel enlightened, we can begin perceiving these anxiety symptoms differently and creating new associations towards them. And that's what we want to do. With anxiety, and these lingering symptoms, I remember what my days were like. I would wake up in the morning and right away, almost instantly, I would be brought towards my body. And the more I was brought towards my body and the things that could go wrong because of the sensations and symptoms that I was feeling, I was then brought towards stories. Stories around the catastrophic end to it all. I would die young. I would never be able to achieve what I want to achieve. I would never be able to give back. I would leave my family behind. Catastrophic story after catastrophic story based around a feeling in the body. And I would go get these things checked out constantly. And every single time, as always, Dennis, there's nothing wrong with you physically. We can't find it. And I was searching for something to be wrong so that I could take care of it. Throughout the day, it was all about active overthinking. Throughout the day, I never found any kind of peace. I was never able to tap into my ability to slow down and see the world around me, to experience what was around me. I wasn't there, but rather, I was in my own head, and because I was in my own head so much, my physical symptoms got worse. And so this active overthinking mind throughout the day led me towards the evening, and in the evening, I don't know about you, comment below if you can resonate with what I'm saying. In the evening, it was time for victimhood. Oh God, what a difficult day I went through again. Is this going to be my life? And I would take it out on other people, my family, my friends. I would distance myself from the ones that loved me so much. And in the evening, I felt very sorry for myself. Very, very sorry for myself. What a life I've been given. Why? And this was daily life for me until I understood my anxiety symptoms better. We, as health anxiety sufferers and anxiety sufferers, lost faith in people. We lost faith in reality. We lost faith in ourselves. Now, the clinging on to symptoms is a result of a fear of losing more of that power and energy. You can sense this. We've lost a lot. We've been let down quite a bit in our lives from childhood onwards. And now we're afraid of losing ourselves completely, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically. We're so afraid. And because we're so afraid, we cling on to these bodily symptoms because they give us a sense of control over our lives. They give us a sense of certainty when there really was no certainty when we were growing up. It was all uncertain. We were always afraid. And so because of this understanding, we can say, you know what? As much as I'm clinging on to my anxiety symptoms and the stories that come with them because of the need for certainty and control in my life, the truth is that at this point in my life, if I can gain a certain amount of respect and understanding around losing the control I'm trying to gain, what's going to happen is I'm going to gain the kind of control I truly want. This is reverse to what your inner child is telling you right now, because your inner child doesn't want to let go of what's familiar, and that is the fear and the addiction to suffering. All it knows is suffering. I know you had good times in your life back in the day, right? But those good times, many of them, didn't come naturally. You had to be around somebody. You had to be at an event. You had to have something externally to make you feel happier and at peace with yourself. Now, finally, you're starting to learn more about yourself and reality. And the truth is that you don't need anything. You can be barefoot, walking on the grass with no one around you and nothing going on. And that's when you truly are met with inner peace. The fear of letting go of these anxiety symptoms is driven by the uncertainty of what may arise. You're afraid. I know you are. And that's okay. It's okay to be afraid. If you do take on the perception around your anxiety symptoms, that is, it's all safe. They're all emotionally driven. Yes, there may be some trauma left over, fragments in my subconscious mind and body that I have to reframe daily. If you do take on these new perceptions, you don't know what the other side is like. And many times these defense mechanisms tend to arise. We tend to go, well, I don't know what to do. You know what to do. You're afraid of what you know. That's the truth. You're afraid of what's on the other side, which is inner peace. You're afraid of what other people may think of you. You're afraid of creating your own identity and your own reality. I know you're afraid, but at the same time, that being afraid can be embraced. You can embrace that world of uncertainty, my friends. I've been where you are, and I've been on the other side. And what I can tell you is that, yes, healing is not, I do something for myself and automatically I'm tapping into that inner peace and happiness. No, that's not what healing is. Healing is sacrifice. You have to sacrifice your old ideas. You have to sacrifice all the different people that are living in your mind, body, and spirit, because you are being led in a million different directions each and every day. An idea from your mother back in the days leading you this way. A belief from your father back in the days leading you this way. A behavior from a teacher is leading you this way. And you're being led in all sorts of directions. And the truth is that as much as you think that you're the cause of all of this, you are not. You have been programmed and conditioned to be this way and to be connected to the addiction to suffering. My friends, there's a whole new world waiting for you on the other side. And on the other side, more than anything, there is trust. There is trust in not knowing the answer to something. There is trust in putting yourself in a vulnerable situation and not needing to know what the outcome is to that situation. There is trust in yourself and the path that you are on. There's no questioning as to whether you're doing something right or wrong. There's no questioning as to what you need to do next. Your heart will lead you. And many times when we find that we're overcoming the old perception over the anxiety symptoms and coming up with the new ones, what's happening is you're starting to trust that you can move yourself. It's like moving to a brand new house. You're moving from a place of in your head all the time to in your heart. And when you're in your heart, what tends to happen is maybe the answers aren't laid out so obviously, but they are more subtle. And you are starting to listen to that heart sense and that intuition that says, hey, you're on the right path with the right people doing the right things. All you have to do is trust in what you know. It's unfamiliar territory to visit a place of trust in the uncertain. I know how unfamiliar it can be. But let me tell you something. The key to your freedom is your ability to embrace the unfamiliar. As much as the unfamiliar looks unsafe to the inner child, guess what? The adult knows better. Everything evolves, everything changes. And let me tell you something, you will also change with all those changes, and you will get to a better place in your life. Just comment below. Tell me, what the biggest clarity you gained today was from this video. I want to hear from you. I want to connect with you. I want to share that unconditional love with you instead of fighting, instead of striving. I want you to live in a place of flow, where your life has a sense of flow, like a conversation with someone that takes no effort whatsoever. You can live in this place. Trust. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Remember, Beyond Anxiety is now out on Amazon. Pick it up today. I can't wait till you read this book. And remember that you are more than anxiety. Don't ever forget it. Share this video with someone who needs it today. Bye-bye.
I want to thank Dennis again for all that he does and for allowing me to play the videos to share with you guys. And yeah, I'll link that video below too and share that with somebody that might need it. But yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted to play that video, because everything he said there, everything he described about where he was and the understanding of what these things are, what change, and taking the leap of faith, basically, that's where I've been. That's where I was a year ago. And so, and I wanted to give it from somebody else's perspective as well. And so you've heard two people's perspectives today. You heard mine, my story. You've heard brief of it. You've heard briefly of Dennis's story there, where he talked about where he was every day. And so now the question for you is, this is probably the most important video I've ever done, because this video is could be a turning point for you. Just like a lot of his videos and some moments now I'll say this video is not gonna, my podcast or that video, it's not gonna make you do something, but it could help open your eyes. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to share with you guys a different perspective, maybe some relatability between myself and Dennis and with you guys. And so, like I said, if you are in that place of feeling like every day is just trying to get by, the constant victimhood, if you feel like you're being, I don't know, if you feel like you can't truly be who you want to be, and that could be many things. It could be your own irrational fears. It could be, like for me, it was health anxiety. It could be you could have people in your life, and sometimes it's people in your life that you love them. Maybe they're your family, your friends, or they could be bad relationships for you. Could be a boyfriend, a girlfriend, even your wife or husband. I don't know. It happens. It might not be the healthiest thing for you. You don't feel like you're going anywhere with it. And that's very hard to let go, but you got to make the choice. And you got to pray to God and ask God, what do you want me to do? What do you think's best for me to fulfill your will, to shine my light to this world? Is what I'm doing, is it benefiting me? Is it helping me grow? That's what you should ask yourself. Is it time for change? And so, yeah, I mean, everything he said there, I mean, about the victimhood. And a lot of times, I've even wrote down some notes from myself. Our world is in constant fight or flight. It's a rat race. And we think it's normal, but it's really not normal. We're constantly go, go, go. And if you're not doing X, Y, and Z, if you don't have this, if you don't have that, we're certified, and you're only good enough through labels, through material things, through what the status quo is. And I'm sorry, that's just straight up bullshit. And we all know it. And that's what's holding a lot of people back, I see. And it held me back for a little bit. Worrying about what people may think, worrying about what someone's opinion might be of me, worrying about stressing because I'm not where maybe by some people's world standards where I should be at my age, because I was going through something. I'm not where I should have been. I'm sorry, that's just straight bullshit. It's straight up, and it's different for everybody else. And so we need to stop with all the nonsense of these bullshit ass labels and all this stupid stuff that we do every day and that we believe. And we promote this stuff. We buy into it. It's garbage. And all it's doing is holding you down, and it's keeping you in that hamster wheel I talked about. It's like a hamster wheel. You're running, 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 but you're not going anywhere. Your life's on autopilot. And so, are you going to make the change? Are you willing to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, hey, there's some things in my life, some BS I need to get out. I need to clean this shit up. I need to move on. And I need to just be completely honest with yourself. I mean, just be real with yourself. Say whatever you got to say. Look yourself in the mirror. Write it on paper. Talk to somebody you trust. This is why I need to change my life. I'm going through anxiety. I have an addiction. I'm going through whatever struggle you're going through. Let it out. Don't hold it in. And that's my whole point. We're a constant fight or flight world because we're taught to suppress. We're taught to be quiet. We're taught to, tough it out and all this bullshit. We're taught to, uh, you know, you got to carry this for the rest of your life. You just got to learn how to manage it and get by. I'm just sorry. I don't buy into that. That's not how God made us. That's not how God wants us to be. And so, if you want to keep buying into that and keep buying into all the stupid stuff that we buy into as a society that we promote nowadays, and that the social media, the pressures, these standards, and everything, have at it. But it's always the same people that will constantly, even to me, hey, I'm going through X, Y, and Z. Hey, I'm feeling like this. Hey, I feel like that. And trust me, I get it. It's hard to let go. It's not easy. I understand. Okay, I'm not telling you. I understand. You could, when you start to break out of these old things, you might lose some things. You might not be accepted by some things. But guess what? Let me tell you something. And I heard this from Charles Stanley the other day. If you're a believer, you should expect some rejection from this world. Let me repeat. If you're a believer, expect to be rejected in this world. Because this world does not accept God. The God of this world is the devil. So understand that. Understand you might get rejected. People in your own family might disown you. People in your inner circle, your friends, might start looking, or might say dissent, but they might start looking at you differently. They might be a little jealous of you. They might be because you're starting to live more free than they are, and they aren't, because they've chose to keep living that life they live. I'm not saying all of it's bad, but we can all look at certain things. I've seen things from my own experience, not happen to me directly, but there's people that I've known or been around, places I've been, where I've seen where, especially with kids and their parents, you know, the parents plan everything out for them. Their whole life's planned out for them. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to go here. You're going to be like this. You're going to believe this. You're going to do that, and everything's planned out for them. And it's all so wonderful and magical, and it's just a magical story, a storybook ending. Their whole life, right? Everything's perfect, and they hide. And people like that are the ones they hide. They hide who they really are. They're afraid to be who they really are. So they put out this fake ass image to the whole world. And a lot of times, what I saw, as especially people in my age group, as we've gotten older, a lot of those plans people had completely fell to shit, went to shreds, and their whole life was the complete opposite. Their parents, uh, excuse me, the vision their parents had for their life was the complete opposite of what they wanted, what they tried to force upon their children. And a lot of times when their kids get older, they rebel against that, or deep down inside, they really hate what they're being forced to do or doing, and they start to break down. They start to get anxious. They start to have, depression. A lot of times, you just start to lose it a little bit. And then if things don't go the way you planned them to be, because you thought you had your whole thing planned out, it's gonna be just so perfect, everything falls apart, and then you go down. You get in that gray area of what to do. You feel like you're lost, and you're afraid, to put your trust into something again, right? And so that's what anxiety is. That I've been there, and it's taken me some time to grow out of that. You're afraid to put your trust into something again. It's like that Kobe Bryant clip, and it's on my Instagram. I love that what he said. When I'm paraphrasing a little bit. When you embrace the uncertainty, though, it's scary. It's scary because you're afraid you put your heart and soul into it again. What happens if you fail? How are you going to feel? Right? But you have to make the choice. Do I really want to live with not ever doing the things I wanted to do and just holding it off and kind of regretting it down the road? Or do I want to get to the point where I just go for it and for myself, not for anybody else, for myself and what God wants me to do? And is it aligned with His will? You know, and I think if God allows things in your life, God's not going to allow something in your life to harm you. Now, some people are off the rails, maybe, or maybe they're not as focused on God like I was a year ago. He may allow you to, at least for me, that moment right there, that was a wake up call for me. And so, again, but it was to refocus me. The God had to refocus me and get me back to where He needed me to be, because He needed me to be doing this. He needed me to be connecting with people, reconnecting with people, and living my life in the will He has for me. And I'm still growing in my area. I still have areas, guys, where I'm still growing. I'm not free of fully, or uh, I'm free, but I'm not. I still have my moments here and there. I'm still working through some things in my own journey, but I still have things I want to achieve and do. But uh, I'm not where I used to be. I don't feel like every day I'm trying to just get by anymore. I feel like now I have a purpose. I'm fulfilling God's purpose in my life, and I'm starting to see all the things. Since when I align with His will and I pray to Him and I surrender it all to Him, I'm seeing what He's doing in my life, and it's incredible. And a lot of my, like I said, the dreams and goals I always had, that I thought I would never attain again, they're right back in my. I could see them now. I could taste them, like they're right in front of me. And so I need a drink of water because I'm up here just rambling like a son of a bitch. But oh man, sorry about that. But need some water. But no, I mean, for real, I mean that it's just crazy to look back where I was a year ago, and that's why I'm sharing this with you today, because uh, if you're right where I was a year ago, if you're right where Dennis said he was in the beginning of that video, you can change. You can do it. I believe in you. Trust me. If I can do it, and he would probably tell you, if he can do it, what he's been doing for years, anybody can do it. We're no different than you guys. Nobody's different than anybody. We're all human beings at the end of the day. We all, you know, we're all gonna die at some point. We go to heaven or hell. We all get up every day, get ready, go to work or whatever you do, or do something. We all live life the same way. Nobody's better than anybody. God views us all the same. And so, again, the choice is yours. If I can do it, you can do it. And so, uh, man, I need some more water because my mouth is dry. As I spill the damn water all over the place. But anyways, oh well. But yeah, man. I hope you guys really took something from this episode today. Uh, I know in the beginning there, when I was trying to tell a story, I did get a little. I was trying to place my thoughts. You know, just kind of think what I want to say, because that was pretty. It's emotional for to look at that photo, not in a negative way, but just to think, man, how far God has taken me in a year, and it's just like it's incredible. And today has been a great day for me to think back and reflect of the last year and where I am now, but also what I have moving forward, what I can do moving forward. And I'm excited about it. It's uncertain because a lot of it's new to me, you know. Um, and here, this is the real. I'll be completely honest with you guys, and I try to share my personal things with you guys because maybe you're going through it, or just to give you relate to you guys, just let you guys know you're not the only one that's going through all this. And so, I think one of the next things in my life, I've said this many times because it's a natural thing in your life, is dating and meeting someone, finding the one. I've never dated. Um, If you'd asked me a year ago or 6 months ago if I wanted to date, I would have said, not yet. Like, I just wasn't like, I was still working through some things, finding myself. Now I'm at a place in my life, though, where I'm open to it. And is it uncomfortable? Yes, because I never really put myself out there, ever really pursued that. So when I think about it, and it is kind of terrifying, I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's kind of scary to try to think I have to, you know, open up like that because it's new to me. I've never done it. And so, but I also been praying about it a lot. So, and I pray to God because I know if God allows something into my life, because here's the reason what held me back for so long was I was afraid of what that person may think of me. And that's a very honest insecurity I just share with you guys that I've worked through and still am kind of working through. And so, and what I mean by that is it could be, you know, that person may want have different goals and visions in a relationship that maybe I don't have, or maybe I'm not able to do right now because I'm still, like I said, I'm still growing through my own journey. I'm still not completely where I want to be at my own life, but I'm getting there. And so, and I'm not where I used to be at all. And so, uh, and again, that's what it's like. Where I was a level 9, 10 anxiety, and I knew it would take some time for me to unwind from that. But in just a year, my life's completely different, and a lot of things I still want to do and goals are very achievable now. And so, with all that being said, I have a different mindset on this now. I've been praying about that a lot. About if you bring somebody in my life, I trust that if God brings somebody in my life, it's because number one, he's allowed it, but he's allowed it because it might actually be what helps me take the next step in different areas. So I'm open to it now because if it helps me take the next step, and I also that person might need me as well. Maybe that's a real healthy relationship is helping each other grow, not being a burden to the other person. That's really what I was afraid of. I never want to be a burden to somebody. I want to help somebody grow. I want to help somebody, you know, be the best version of themselves. That's to me, that's a healthy relationship. Excuse me, is helping each other, being there for each other, loving each other, supporting each other through the good and the bad. Are you and trusting somebody that even in bad times you stick it out together and you find a way and you will find a way and you always make it through and it makes you stronger. And so that's where I am now. And also have God in the center of it. That's most important. And so, uh, again, I'm open to it because it might be, like I said, it could be something that helps ground me more, helps, and it does. And I don't know what that's like, but I know it does. And helps you, it could be what God, if He allows it right now in my life or whatever, it might be what I need. And so, but it reminds me of this verse right here, one of my favorite verses. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Isaiah 60:22. Don't get more simpler than that. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. And that's my mindset now. That's my mindset each day. And remember, I said it's the balance between doership and allowance. So that it's plan things, have goals, achieve things to help yourself better, or help yourself grow, excuse me. But also, you got to allow. That's where faith comes into play. Allow things to happen. Allow God to make things come. He'll bring things to you. He'll show you in time. Don't force things as much. When you start to force and push things, it can backfire on you a lot of times, and it does backfire on you a lot of times. And so, think of that verse: "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen." And for me, if it turns if it's a relationship, if He brings that person in my life, it could be other goals I have. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing each day to help myself and improving each day as well. I still could clean up some things and I'm honest with myself. And I have been improving more and more each day, or more and more in my day to day approach and that I learned from Dennis's program, not my program, Dennis's program, and just, I'm still God's still working on me and I'm still growing each and every day. And so, um, but whatever He allows into my life, it's the right time. like it says there. Because when the time is right, if I keep pointing the wrong way, there we go. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. He will make it happen. So whenever it happens, and I'll know when, maybe I'll get a sign. I don't know. I'll know. God will let you know. And you'll know it's the right time. And so, and you may just have to embrace the uncertainty, like Dennis said, embrace the uncertainty, but trust that the timing is right. Because if God allowed it to in your life, it's the right time. Might be what it's what you need. It's what God says is what you need right now in His will. It's what you need. And so, uh, yeah, that's my message for today, guys. I know I got a little deep there, but now um, I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, I remember what I was gonna say. All right, but that's my message for today. My message for today, guys, as I mumble and stumble around here at the end. Uh, I hope you guys took something away from this episode today. Like I said, this is where I was a year ago, and here I am a year later. That's your boy yesterday on Instagram. That's right. Got my KDU shirt on. Shout out Bounty Tank. Salute to you, bro. Go subscribe to Bounty Tank if you haven't. YouTube. To me, it's the best show out. Bail Bondsman out of Akron. He's from Cleveland. Uh, Incredible show and very entertaining show. Very funny, but very real, very raw. I know he's got his own show on a bigger network platform coming soon, so that's gonna be cool. It's been cool. I've been watching his show for a long time, for years, to see how far he's grown and what patience will do. Just keep working hard. Listening for my, I have goals in my own podcast. This show here, it takes time. It's a slow grind. Things don't just happen overnight, and so you just got to keep sticking with it each and every day, or each week, or whatever your schedule is, whatever you do, whether it's your job or you're a podcaster, a creator, whatever you do, it's a process. It takes time. But yeah, that's me a year later, though. That's yesterday. And like I said, I went from this, yeah, went from that panicky and full of fear and, oh man, just very sensitized and just full of fear and just afraid to, now, now I'm feeling a lot better. I'm a year later, living life now. And but I'm much more at peace and just more content, happy where I am in my life. And yeah, like the shirt says, Kick Door University. If anybody doesn't know what that means, because he's a bounty hunter, sometimes people skip bail on him and they miss court. He has to go return them, or they have to pay the money. So, for instance, if it's a $5,000 bond, he has a certain due date. Either he's got to pay $5,000 out of his pocket, or he has to return that person, or that person pays the bond for him. So, but either way, there's money on the line. They're playing with his money, and so sometimes he's got to go hunt people down and he has to kick their door in. He's got to kick in the door and go in and get them. So, or kick in the cosigner's door to apply pressure on them to stop lying and tell them where they are. But but the same thing can be true with anxiety. Are you ready to kick down the door of your fear? Are you ready to kick down that door in your life and walk through, break through, and be free? Because you can do it, just like this hat says, and even the picture. That's why I wore it. Freedom. Kick down the door to fear, get freedom. Kind of cliche, I don't know, but to me it goes together. It's facts, though. I mean, yeah, we're kicking down doors over here too. We're kicking down the doors of anxiety and fear and panic, and we're getting to our true self, and we're gonna live life to the fullest. And God is good. That's all I gotta say. I'm just gonna keep going throughout my journey each and every day. Keep doing these podcasts for you guys. And by the way, this is not vaping. This is grapes. So anybody out there, I'm not vaping. I'm eating grapes. I don't vape anyways. Never have, never will. I don't even drink. I've never drank. Unless people are like, man, you're boring. But I'm cool. I go out and stuff a good time. Give me a Perrier or, something like that. Or Perrier. I said Perrier. Sometimes I say that. Gosh dang it. Perrier. Excuse me. Carbonated water. Lime. But, yeah. Keep eating my grapes. Going through my journey each and every day. And, God is good. Like I said, it's just very thankful for him a year later. And if I can do it, you guys can do it too. And so, comment below and let me know if you got what you guys took away from this video. You can find me on social media. You can message me online. If you have any more questions about anything I said today or Dennis said, you can reach out to him as well. Go subscribe to him. That's the best anxiety support there is. Yeah, he's great. Pretty good too. Is there anything else here on the way out? No, I mean, that's all I got. And I appreciate you guys who have been watching this show. If you're new here, welcome. Hope to see you back again. Hit the subscribe button for me so you know when I drop a video, you'll know. And so hit the notification bell as well. Like this video. Share this video. That's what we need to do. Share this stuff with people you think that need it. Because that's what we need more of. We need more people communicating and communicating about things like this, about helping each other. Not, all the stuff I went off about earlier that doesn't really have any value to us. We need to do things that are beneficial to us and share things and talk about things that help empower us. That's what we need more of. We don't have enough of it. And I hope one day, I hope one of you guys watching this, or maybe you're somebody that's known me for a long time, or I don't know you at all. I don't care. I hope to see somebody come out and share your story publicly. And yes, it might feel uncomfortable. It's a very vulnerable thing to do. I totally understand that. I've been there. But we need more people to step up and do these kind of things. It doesn't have to be anxiety. It could be anything. If you want to talk about whatever, something to help people and empower people, and just share your testimony, share your story. You never know who it's going to help. If it helps one person, it was all worth it. If it makes people think about it, it was all worth it because you planted a seed. That's God working through you. Allow God to work through you to plant that seed to someone else and to inspire someone else, because you never know what it could turn into. And so, that's my show for today. Love all you guys. Appreciate the support. And that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out of here. Gone.